Let's start with live direct to voicemail. You can think of live direct to voicemail as almost ringless voicemail 2.0. But what's very different about live direct to voicemail is it's entirely compliant. And that's because we're actually deploying a live operator's personal voicemail message at scale. So we're dialing thousands of telephone numbers per second, and we're delivering live voice to people's mobile phones directly to their voicemail system. So all you really need is a live operator. Could be the candidate, him or herself, could be a professional voice talent. As we dial thousands of telephone numbers per second, we're delivering that live voice directly to the voicemail on your mobile device. It's very scalable. A candidate himself could literally spend 5-10 minutes on the phone and deliver tens of thousands of personal voice messages. That it's compliant because even though we're dialing quite rapidly, we're not delivering pre-recorded messages. And so you don't need that opt-in consent to deliver live voice onto mobile devices. It's very cost effective. It's a fraction of the cost of professional live call center one-to-one calls. More voters are likely to get the complete message because it's going directly to voicemail, and the voter has an opportunity to replay key details because they've got the message on their device. It's also something that's more positively perceived than, let's say, your traditional robocall, and a lot of voters are intrigued by the fact that they got a personal voice message without their phone ringing multiple times. You could actually set one of these things up same day. All you need to do is load the list, you need a script, and you need a phone number to use as the caller ID. I did want to talk about some of the brand new features for live direct to voicemail. So many people are familiar with visual voicemail, and that's when you receive a voicemail on your modern mobile phone. It's actually transcribed for you, so you can actually see the text. You can still play the message so that you can hear the context and the emotion. But what visual voicemail allows you to do is actually click on, let's say, a telephone number. If you wanted to be connected to a call center, to a volunteer who might advocate on behalf of your campaign. So that new functionality is really useful. You could click on a website, an email address, anything that Apple and Google are actually creating a clickable link for you in the visual voicemail itself. The other thing that you see is now this live voicemail functionality. So you can see on this image in the center, the voicemail itself is being transcribed in real time on your device. And you do have an ability to click accept while the voicemail is being left so that the person can hear the live voice in real time. And then the last new feature that I wanted to point out is this voicemail to text notification. So voicemails are actually being displayed similar to a text message notification on your device. So not only do you see that missed call in the image here on the right, but you'll actually see a transcription which looks like a text notification on your device. If you click on that notification, you're taken directly to that voicemail in your system where you could listen to it. So these are really new and exciting feature developments on modern smartphones, and it's only increasing the efficacy of this live direct to voicemail product. So after talking about these features, I really want to get into some of the success stories that we've seen with this last election cycle. And Kurt, I'm going to turn it over to you first.
Thank you. Patrick and I came up with an idea that we had two basic counties in this particular congressional district in Colorado. And what we did was we had the campaign by the, to use the layman's terms, ringless voicemail to encourage people to come out and vote for our candidate. In this particular state, it's a mail ballot election. So the message was too late to mail it, please drop it off. And we could tell by how people had turned in their ballots who had voted, who hadn't. And then we raised some separate money to do it in another county and to push the people we wanted to come out and vote. The statistics and how this showed up came up at the very end. Election night, the candidate was down by 4,000 votes, but what hadn't been counted was the last couple of days of people that had turned in their ballots by hand instead of mailing them. In the end, he won by 2,500 votes and flipped the seat. So it was kind of a big deal. I think we sent out 103,000 of these.
One more thing that's important about this is that it gave that candidate's name a little bit more visibility right when people were voting on their cell phone. And it was a little bit different than the text messages that they've been bombarded with. This was a different sort of communication, and it was kind of refreshing. The candidates that I worked with and used this tool with, they liked the idea that this wasn't bombarding their voters with text messages. It was more of a pleasant experience for the voter.
You do want to make sure your people do come out and vote, and this is that last-minute tool. What budget do you take it out of? I was asked that before. Take it out of your texting budget. You're hitting them too many times with texting anyway. The nice thing, by the way, about this is, and what Sean alluded to is, you don't need a 10 NDLC and you don't have to go through all the paperwork.
We also saw two major U.S. senator campaigns, one in Arizona, one in Montana, do literally millions of direct-to-voicemail as GOTV strategy. They just weren't seeing the same returns with the text messages. We've talked about this before, but in the last election cycle, people receive 50 text messages for every one phone call from campaigns. So phone calls stood out from the noise of the inundation with text. Okay, now, Kurt, I'd like to turn it over to you to talk about how live direct-to-voicemail or this new ringless voicemail application can be used to give a boost to your fundraising.
Well, thank you, Sean. I appreciate that. Now, we have another application for live to direct voicemail, and that's to use this new product to chase direct mail for fundraising purposes. And so what happens is when we append people's list of what they've sent for direct mail, and we follow up with a quick chase for a 15-second live voicemail. It pushes them along to open that direct mail or to donate. And we found about a 10 to 20% increase in what we've had for past experience without doing it, as it were. Sean, now to you, and talk about the application for texting, please.
Historically, we've seen diminishing returns in using peer-to-peer texting to chase the direct mail fundraising over the last year. And so ultimately, direct to voicemail is giving you 4 different types of messages. You're getting the personalized audio message from the speaker. You're also getting a visual voicemail transcription of the audio in text format that stays on the recipient's smartphone for a period of time. You get that live voicemail in real time so that the voter can actually switch over to the audio. And then finally, you're still getting that voicemail to text notification that looks like a text message if you miss a voicemail on your sleep screen. So you're getting 4 different types of alerts when you get a ringless voicemail versus just one for a peer-to-peer text.